Thanks for the IE and Spring Singapore who has organized this UAE trip for us. My name is Michael Tay. I'm the General Manager of Federal International, which is the public listed company in Singapore. We've been in the oil and gas industry for the last 35 years. We have a presence in this UAE area. We have some supplying our materials, line pipes, materials, valve and other equipments to UAE, and we would like to tap on the IE and Springs opportunity to see how we can improve our market share in this area here. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Right. Then Mr. Lai from Heat Exchangers.
Yeah, I'm Lai from Heat Exchangers Specialist. We do the process design of heat exchangers to the manufacturing in Singapore. So our major customer is in oil and gas, petrochemicals, and even FPSO topside on the heat exchangers areas, shell and tube, air cools, and other custom design heat exchangers. That is what we do, manufacture.
Okay. Well, the next two gentlemen from PEC are still on their way here because they are based here. But they'll be here shortly. So maybe I'll move to Victor from Rotating Offshore.
Thank you. Morning, my name is Victor Lim. I'm the Technical Director for East Asia, or rather for ROS, Rotating Offshore Systems. We build equipment for oil and gas production facilities like FPSOs, so maybe compressors, gas compressors, gas generators, diesel generators, and firewater pumps. So we're based in Singapore. We're authorized distributor for dresser vent product, dresser vent compressors. To name a few, sorry. GE, Cameron. So a few of the names which I will give you a copy of the profile in a while. Thank you.
Then we have Jeremy from SBI.
Hi, good morning. My name is Jeremy. Thank you for IE and Spring Singapore for organizing this. Sorry, pardon for my sore throat. Okay, I'm actually the GM for Global Offshore Operations in SBI Offshore. Mainly we do deals with deck machineries like offshore mooring systems for your jackups, mainly into the offshore markets. So we also have our offshore cranes, lifeboats and davits, and also we are Aker Solutions drilling equipment partner in Asia itself. So we have our own design and manufacture houses in Singapore, Houston, Brazil, China and Rotterdam. We are looking to expand into the Middle East market and hoping to see how we can actually work on. Yeah.
And then of course lastly we have Nicholas from TriStar.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Muhammad and team from Dry Docks. My name is Nicholas. I'm from TriStar Middle East. TriStar basically is a Singapore-owned company. We set up our setup in Sharjah to manufacture fasteners, to supply for the oil and gas, the energy, offshore and offshore projects. We are basically right now we are the blanket holder for MIS and Lamcrown. So it's a 30 years company with vast experience doing these fasteners. And of course we have other products like cable ladders and trays, cathodic protection for the jackets, and also this potentialing for the piping equipment. Thanks.
You can see in Singapore we are very orderly. We go by alphabetical order. Yeah, not by size.
Because it is an opportunity here also to close each other here. As you know, we deal with dry docks or companies here in Dubai.
Well, I'll let the gentleman highlight. Do we have a lot of dealings with dry docks already? I think that's the question.
For myself, SBI, we deal with our dry docks in Southeast Asia mainly. Mainly during the jackups, BOPs, because we supply with Aker. We are the contract manufacturer for Aker in terms of their BOPs and also the HPUs. So on the drilling equipment side, then lifeboats and davits, and also deck machineries and offshore cranes. Yeah, in Southeast Asia.
For TriStar, we do manufacturers. We do supply for your yachts in Batam, where the group, if I'm not wrong, if I remember, is Dry Dock, Graha, Pertamina, and there's another one, Naninda. So we actually supplied cable ladders and trays, fasteners for the tugboats and the AHTS. And also in Singapore, we have supplied to this Pan United, which is now owned by Dry Dock, and have FPSO's topsides, those topside modules. And right here in this Dry Dock, Dubai, we have been regularly receiving RFQ, but we are still in the process of trying to win an order. But anyway, our setup here is only 6 months old, and we are still trying to get build out our inventory to the kind of level that we can support Dry Dock. As in, we kind of lead time maybe 2-3 days instead of 2-3 weeks. So this is what we are covered for Dry Dock.
For Federal, we do not have any orders from Dry Dock yet. But we have offered to Dry Dock Batam. But so far there's no firm orders from your side. So maybe your
We
side
have
can...
Federal is having our own office in Sharjah, free zone, safe zone. We just have a marketing office here, and we regularly get RFQs from Dry Dock, but we didn't reach in any orders. Yeah, because mainly you do with we do with ANSI API standards, like most of our valves and other things. Yeah, that's one part of technically we are deviating from your specs.
But do you have anything, any stock here, or you
No, we don't stock here. We have a good stock in Singapore. We have around 35 million Singapore dollars in stock of valves completely, and we do have the casings in stock, but that is not used for Dry Docks, I think. Yeah.
But up to what size or what type valves you?
We have a gate loop check and ball valves.
Up to 36
Half
inch.
inch to 26 inches we have. In all class, 150, 300 and 600 class valves.
In stock.
Yeah, in stock, yeah. And we also do the actuator valves, we mount ourselves and we take the Rotork actuators. We have a global link with Rotork
What
actuators.
about butterfly?
Butterfly, we don't do but we brand it yeah, butterfly we don't do on our own. We just approach our global partners in Korea. Yeah, Korea and Taiwan. Yeah.
So what would be the time?
Delivery, yeah.
Not delivery, response and delivery.
Response probably, if it is a project inquiry, probably it will take 2 weeks time, yeah, for project inquiries, and for your the replacement or those things you can get it in 2 days time, 1 or 2 days, yeah.
We have about 35
Yeah, we
minutes.
have stock here for delivery.
No, we are planning to have stock, but nothing has decided, Yeah, probably in I do agree. The stock plays a main role in Dry Docks. They need everything very urgently as their projects are ongoing, and we are planning to have stocks, but probably in a year time. Yeah.
We are also looking the cooperation between the Dubai's Dry Dock. If we have keep some consignment stock here, that would be fine. We look into that possibility also.
They have, but I think here also with the government, maybe we can't do that. Or we have freeze or the values.
Okay.
But here in Dry Docks, I don't know exactly they will be alright.
I see.
But how is it you have an main office in Satwa, right? Yeah. But your procurement goes from here or from Satwa, how it is? Because we used to get the RFQ from the Satwa office. Yeah, Dry Dock, yeah.
The main yard is in Jumeirah, which one?
Jumeirah, yeah. Jumeirah one.
And we have Dubai Maritime City. There is it also one part of the Dry Docks.
Okay.
And we have this one, the old one, Jeddah.
Old one, yeah. The procurement is also done here.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have here and one main yard with Dry Docks and
Okay. That's fine. Okay.
Mohammed, I realize you have a few of your partners here. Perhaps they can say a few words about themselves also.
I'm Bogdan and I'm from Terra Technology, and we are working together with the Dry Docks for supplying of pumps. What we supplied until now, pumps, and just now we supplied a sewer treatment unit for some boats. And I was invited here, so maybe we can come into cooperation to, when we deliver some pumps or something, we can take also maybe some of your products.
Yeah, my name is Ali Ashraf, and I am the operations manager for Grandwell. And few of you have been given my visiting card. And we manufacture ships, mainly offshore vessels, and we repair. I was listening to most of you, and I am quite interested. So I would suggest that some of you have my cards, and we buy a lot of stuff from worldwide market. So I would see an opportunity for you guys to enter into our system and offer your products, basically products, no services. That way, that's why I was just being specific to us, but
Yeah.
all the equipments, deck machineries, cranes, heat exchangers, anything.
We want some agencies here because we have actually marine business, repairing as well as luxury boats and others. So we have marine trading through 2-3 companies as well. So if we want something like agencies,
Which kind of product you are interested in? Because there are several people here.
yeah. So we will talk later about. I'll send you the name.
Yeah, that will be
whatever
fine.
you products.
Yeah.
So then we have 2-3 agencies.
Okay.
For some explosion proof and some others. So if you
So you have your own company inside Jeddah or?
8 companies total.
Okay, inside Jeddah.
Yeah, inside Jeddah we have 4 companies.
Okay.
Two here in one marine trading company, one in Abu Dhabi Masafah.
Okay.
One in Sharjah Hamdi, that is servicing,
That's fine.
marine servicing.
So when you talk about explosion proof, is it zone 2? Okay.
We are with one.
Okay. Okay, we are actually supplying zone 2 diesel generators, gas generators, and rotating offshore solutions. Yeah.
That's right.
And
We
we'll be
require
interested,
some-
of course. We are expert in zone 2.
Yeah, all our compressors, because they're handling gas, so the compressor, the engine or the motor, all the instruments, the valves, they're all zone 2 certified. So likewise for the generator, for the fire water pump, we can zone it because more and more the safety requirements getting stringent. So zone is getting more common for pumps, generator, and compressors. Okay, so
we do business in generators as well, but not in explosion proof zone. But we can go for it.
yeah.
And we are quite proud to say that we are building the largest zone 2 gas generator in Asia.
So this is my
Diesel
company,
generator.
I'll contact you later.
1.8 megawatt size diesel generator, full zone.
We require some
I
time.
just forward my.
We require for the higher basis.
Right.
Sometimes, but we didn't do marketing for the generators.
This yard concentrates on rigs or FPSO or does it differentiate? How do we know?
Repair rigs as well.
Okay.
Currently I'm doing 6 rigs in Iran water.
Right. In this yard,
Yeah.
6 rigs.
5 already I commissioned.
Okay.
One is left.
This is refurbishment. Refurbishment or new builds? So it's refurbished or it's a new build?
No, this is actually refurbishment.
Okay, okay.
Because we do have modules deployed in the likes of Nigeria, Yemen, etc. And our people do fly around to various parts of the world. And I'm sure Iran will be an interesting country that we are very keen to visit as well.
Maybe at this juncture, I'll say a few words about the industry that we have in Singapore. If you turn to the front of the booklet, there's some very basic information that we have put together. Yeah. The economy of Singapore this year is doing very well. We're expecting 13 to 15% growth, which is the fastest that we ever have grown before.
Our yard there in Singapore, they dealing with yard.
Uh-huh.
They're dealing with you.
They're dealing with the local companies in Singapore. Yes, but for our government agency, yes, there's some dealing. But although I personally have not engaged them.
But for dry dock they have 3 divisions. I think one for new build and conversion and
Correct.
repair.
Correct.
And we are business unit also for yacht repair now. We serve this department. But I think Mr. Suhail maybe can do more because he dealing directly with the supplier and some.
Okay, good.
Because he look after for all the projects that we have, my division, and he deal sometimes also with dry doors to sometimes for those packaging materials.
Okay.
We can, so I think for our employee moment, we have to reach more than 10,000 people here in Dubai and for Batam and Singapore. I don't exactly, I don't know the figures there, but I think we reach more than 14,000. And you know everything about dry doors. But they have their own.
Well, for us, we are certainly very keen because our industry in Singapore is about 15-16 billion US dollars, and we have several large companies. In total, the industry in Singapore employ about 95,000 people, amongst all the companies, large and small. And when the industry is doing well, when the economy is doing well, because there's a lot of oil exploration that's taking place from Singapore in Southeast Asia, we see many of our local companies, they may not be very large, typically they're about 100 million or less in size, but we see that they have a lot of opportunity. And that's where our priority as a government agency to help local companies in Singapore comes in. We provide significant assistance to help them to upgrade, and together with IE Singapore, we organize international marketing trips like these. So the main message we want to leave behind is that the companies, already some of them are doing business with you, some of them are already down here on the ground, all are very keen, all are very keen. And I think that, we're very happy that you have brought some of your partners here today, because one thing that we realize is that the opportunity for companies, large companies, small company interaction is good. I don't want to use the word small, but I'll say medium-sized company, the medium-sized interaction also very good.
No, it's good opportunity also to deal with all the companies here to improve the area, for the development, for the repair, for everything.
Correct.
And we really appreciate Grandwood also, and Arshaf, because we are always dealing with them. Like we are competitors to win for that, but in the end, we are one family here. We have to deal, to cooperate with each other, and sometimes we even they give us some. Always we dealing here like this. We didn't get everything to us. No, we have to share all the things.
Well, maybe I have a question on how is the best way to spend the time that we have set aside for this discussion. Would it be helpful for each of the companies to give maybe a 5-minute explanation of what they're capable of? Or before we go into that, would you have certain, important priorities that or important needs that you have that you think you would like to highlight?
I would suggest if it is useful for you to have a short visit to my office.
Okay.
Before, maybe immediately after this, if it permits you.
Okay.
So that I can introduce some of my colleagues to you.
Okay.
And you would get that would be better.
All right.
If it is possible. And we are just round the
okay.
corner.
No, timing wise, I think we're fine.
Yeah.
Timing wise. Sorry, Jeremy. Yeah.
Hi.
On your way.
Yeah, sir.
I'd like to introduce Mr. Zhang from PEC.
Yeah, PC,
Yes.
representing PC,
Yes.
on the other audit.
Well, we can definitely visit Granwell, the timing permits. But maybe at this juncture, shall we, if timing is okay for you, we give the gentlemen each 5 minutes to talk about themselves.
If you can refer to the company profile, it's about 10 pages, but I try to make it short and precise. If you have any question, just stop me anyway. So just a bit of background about us. We incorporated in 2004. We mainly build equipment for production facilities, so like FPSOs, floating production rigs. And then we are, if you look at further down the road, we are actually SME 500 company, and then E50 lately is a local award for small medium enterprises in Singapore. These are the OEMs that we represent. So these manufacturers like Dresser-Rand, they manufacture the compressors. So we would then package the system, like the drivers, the valves, the controls, and then we sell it as a system. So these mainly go on FPSOs and everything. So just for your information. So Dresser-Rand, Frick, Aizen, all these are compressor manufacturers. And then further down we have process equipment like dehydration, dew point control, which is basically a process refrigeration. So all these would go on an FPSO. They go onshore on a gas processing plant also. But I think if you're talking to Dubai Dry Dock, then it will be relevant for FPSOs. So the next page shows our core products, which are, as our name explains, we are rotating offshore solutions. So we manufacture gas compressors, generators, F5 water pumps, gas processing, so gas refrigeration. So a lot of gas handling products. So all these would go on to FPSOs. On my behind slide, I have a lot of references that go on FPSO. So Singapore, as you know, does about 20 or so FPSOs per year. So Dubai Dry Dock is catching up. I think you guys do about 10 or so, or 15 numbers per year. So we would like to supply Dubai Dry Docks if you are in a position. Do you procure the top sides, or that's owner free shoot item? But on the marine side, you would procure, right? Like the E-generators, the emergency generators. Yeah, so the marine side, we would like to supply you guys for the emergency generators, essential generators, and then the fire water pump. So fire water pump, we have the hydraulic style, we have the hydraulic driven jockey pump below, and the hydraulic pumps engine drive on the forecaster. So organization, we are about 60 men strong. Facility, we are based in the western part of Singapore, so we are close by to the major seaport. So for us to deliver from Singapore to Dubai is about 2 weeks, 1.5 weeks to 2 weeks. So our accreditation, we have the ISO 9001, OSHA 18001, so the standard stuff, and then the U stamps for pressure vessels. So engineering wise, we entirely design the compressors or the refrigeration from scratch. So from the process engineering, PFDs, all the way down to mechanical engineering on the structure, pressure vessel, piping, etc. Okay, so some of our valued clients, we have a lot of oil and gas, oil majors, FPSO owners, EPC companies. So we would like to one day supply Dubai Dry Docks as well. So some of our reference pictures, picture speaks 1,000 words. So we have zone 2 generators. These are large, about 2 megawatt size generators. These are MTU engines, so the entire engine is water cooled, and then as the exhaust comes out of the engine is double wall pipe. There's a heat exchanger to cool the engine, so the entire surface of the engine is below T3, below 200 degrees. So this would be certified to operate in the zone 2 environment, like the oil rig, FPSO topside, for example. Next picture is refrigeration. So the gas that comes out of the well, typically before they put it in the pipeline, they like to control the dew point. So they'll condense the gas, drop out any heavy hydrocarbon, so that the gas is of a certain dew point in the pipeline. So we built refrigeration packages for Johnson Control. So they have an office here. So like lately we have sold quite a few equipment to OMV in Yemen through the Johnson Control office. So we are their resident contractor for Johnson Control. Then further down we have fuel gas compressors. So especially in Sharjah, I think there's a lot of power plants, entirely gas-fired power plants. So nowadays a lot of people, instead of flaring the gas, for example, when they're offshore on an FPSO, so instead of flaring, they'll recover the flare gas and then they'll burn it for power, so they can power the FPSO. So we built fuel gas compressors that will boost the pressure so they can feed into a big gas turbine generator. So mostly compressors in this page. So go down to the next page. So we built process modules like seawater treatment, oil treatment and gas treatment.
Victor, maybe you just like to pick on one or two.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Ends my presentation. And then the behind is more for your just some track reference. So I'll pass it on to the next speaker.
Michael?
Okay.